So I made a vlog about the Batgirl scandal and the Killing Joke, but I still see people complaining about it. Now, I wasn't expecting my channel and its 88 subscribers to get a huge message out about SJWs overreacting to a movie, but it was unscripted, and I look back and I think I didn't make my case clear enough. So that's what I'd like to do now. Explain in satisfactory detail how there is very little wrong with Batgirl's story and Killing Joke. First, I'd like to reiterate a point I made in my vlog. The Batgirl story and Killing Joke segments are two separate stories mashed into one movie. Neither one has a significant impact on the other. With that in mind, we need to examine the three-act structure of Batgirl's story. Her story has a definite introduction, confrontation, and resolution. The opening car chase sets up our three main characters: the protagonist, Batgirl, the antagonist, Franz, and an old wise sage, Batman. We're also given what we need to know about the three major players' characters. Batgirl is a young and inexperienced thrill-seeker. Her stance as a crime fighter is more lighthearted and playful. Outside of the costume, she has hang-ups about her relationship with Batman. Her pants are really wet for him, but she knows their relation is complicated and is only compounded by their nightly activities and otherwise unconventional lifestyles. Franz, or whatever the hell that guy's name was, is our bad guy. He's cocky, rude, doesn't take a whole lot seriously, and in general, not the kind of guy you want to bring home to meet the family. We learn he develops an obsession with Batgirl, which is his motivation to keep screwing with her. Well, that and he doesn't like his uncle. And finally, Batman is, well, Batman. The story set up in this part of the movie is a basic good guy's gotta catch the bad guy so he doesn't do more bad things situation. From here we go into the confrontation and stakes begin to rise. Batgirl is almost raped by Franz when she tries to tackle the villain on her own. Don't worry kids, she gets herself out of that jam. Batman takes her off the case when he realizes the bad guy gives zero fucks. The bad guy kills her uncle, or whatever, and becomes a bigger bad guy, which prompts an investigation by Batman. Franz leaves a clue for Batgirl, which sends Batman on a wild goose chase. Batgirl takes it upon herself again to do whatever she pleases against the advice of the older and wiser voice of reason, and gets herself into trouble again. This time it's pretty certain she'll die, but Batman is there to bail her out. They go have a discussion on a rooftop about Batgirl not being prepared for an opponent like Franz, who compares to Batman's own rogues gallery, and the two end up banging, which results in a very awkward tension between the two that leads into the third act. Now before we get into that third act, let's go ahead and knock out the bat sex. This moment is the accumulation of Batgirl's pent-up frustration. It hit boiling point and she acted without thinking, like real people tend to do. I mean, shit, given that she's the one who kicked his ass and initiated the whole damn thing, she's clearly the one wearing the pants in this encounter, which you'd think would be considered progressive. I can explain the scene, but it's still not what I'd have done. Simply put, it just comes off as weird either way. I mean, she's Batgirl and he's Batman. There's kind of this pedophilic awkwardness about the situation, and it just doesn't sit right with me is all. In the final confrontation of Batgirl's story, Batman is up against the ropes and in a bad spot. Franz is in a position to kill Batman when Batgirl arrives and saves the day. The climax comes when Batgirl is beating the shit out of Franz and is about to kill him. At this point, she starts to understand Batman's lecturing and prevents herself from killing Franz. The heroes get away, the bad guys go to jail, and on the next night, Batgirl returns all of her bat stuff to Batman. She retires from life to go back to living as a normal college student, and she and Batman part ways. The end. As I mentioned in my vlog, the only real gripe I have with the story is the bat sex, and that's only because knowing what I know of the characters in DC lore, it's kind of weird. That's really it. Other than that, the story is fine. I think the chief complaint SJWs have with the plot is how Batgirl is kind of a dumbass in the beginning. Which is a stupid complaint because her not being all that smart is essential to her character's arc. Batgirl is flawed. She gets in over her head. She has insecurities about her relationships. She's striving to prove herself as a more competent crime fighter. That's a great thing. She isn't some flawless, perfect, uber-capable character like Rey from The Force Awakens. You can quote me on this, folks. Batgirl in The Killing Joke is a much better character than Rey from the Star Wars The Force Awakens. By the end of it, Batgirl is a different person who has grown from her experience in the plot of the story. Now, does this make the movie any better? Not really. I don't see many problems in this Batgirl-centric story. It just had nothing to do with the rest of the movie once Batman investigated the 4 bodies left behind by the Joker. Now, aside from purely subjective complaints, the Batgirl story works overall. It makes me wish the two stories were their own movies instead of being smashed together like they were. There is more that could have been done here because while the Batgirl story works, it is by the book, if that makes any sense. So yeah, DC writers, next time, why not just make them two different movies, okay?